Hello! Well, my name is Fran. Many of you might know I was a flight attendant for Ryanair. Well, today I'm here just to tell you, to share with you my experience working as a flight attendant for Ryanair. First of all, I need to apologize because I'm a bit voiceless. I got a cold, so probably going to be coughing throughout the whole video. I'm really excited actually because this is my first video in English. Still, I thought this could be a good idea to make this video in English because now Ryanair is getting huge, it's getting quite big, and they're expanding everywhere in Europe, and so they're recruiting people from everywhere in the whole Europe. And so I thought this could be interesting since more people will get to see this. I always say that I never got this information from the YouTube or from internet when I wanted to be a flight attendant. I didn't have all this information. I'm really happy to share this with you because this really should help you. As I said, Ryanair is getting bigger every time and they're doing over 30 interviews every month, which means that if you want to work for Ryanair, you're gonna work for Ryanair. The only thing that you have to get the vacancy for Ryanair is be willing to move everywhere in Europe, because as you might know, Ryanair is gonna give you a random base from Europe. They're not gonna take into consideration the place you come from or where you live, because it doesn't matter to them. I mean, it's just like a matter of if they need people in London, they're gonna send you to London, Stansted, or if they need people in Poland, they're gonna send you to Poland. They don't have a specific order for that. The interview is really easy. I remember being really nervous, but actually once you're there, it's just you need to be chill, you need to be really relaxed, nothing's gonna happen. Everyone is really nervous, so you just try to communicate with everyone and make friends. That's really important, so the interviewers get to see that you're a very social person. I remember my interview was really easy. We were 30 people. 28 people got through the second phase, then 26 people got in. The other people who didn't go through the final phase, it's just because they couldn't speak any English. And obviously to work for Ryanair, they just request you to speak a minimum level of English. Once you are selected for the job position and once you sign all the papers and you accept all their conditions, they give you the place where you're going to do the training course, which personally just don't get really obsessed with that, because it doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna have fun. There are a lot of options for the training course. I think you have Bergamo, Madrid, Lisbon, Hahn in Germany. The worst one for sure is Hahn, and that's where I went. And believe me guys, it wasn't that bad. I know many people told me Hahn was the worst place to do the training course. Hahn is the most isolated place that Ryanair has as a base to make the training course, because in Bergamo you live in the actual city, and in Lisbon as well and Madrid as well you live in the city center, but in Hahn you're in the middle of Germany, in the middle of nowhere. It's just a countryside and you're there with no one else around you, so you create a kind of a really nice atmosphere with all of your classmates and with all of the instructors. And it's just going on an Erasmus, because all of you are always together, you always go out together, you make a lot of friends, and you make a really nice family. At the end of the day, I recommend you to go to Hahn, because you're gonna make a lot of friends and you're gonna get to, I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed it a lot. I must say the training course is a really hard thing. Don't just think the training course is just this stupid thing that you go to class, then you take exams and well, it's okay, you go party. No, it's nothing to do with that. We had a whole schedule. We had 9 hours per day. That was insane, 9 hours inside of a class. And then when you finish, you have to go home and study all of what you've been learning during the lessons that day. And the next day you have an exam about what you did last day. It's really hard and really tough. You have to go there and study a lot. Once the training course is over, you get your wing. You do the wing ceremony, which is really nice. You invite all of your family, your friends come over, and they see you graduate and they give you the wings, so you're able to fly. The very last day that I was there, the day that I got the wings, actually the next day I had to take the flight to go to Edinburgh. So you don't have any extra days to relax or just to take a break or something. No, so as soon as you finish and you get your wings, then you take the flight to go to your base. That's where all the crazy things start. Ryanair doesn't provide you a house, and that was my main problem during the whole experience. If I had had a house from Ryanair, things would have been much easier for me. Remember to find a house as you're doing the training course, because if you finish your training course and you have to go to your base and you don't have a house, then you are really into trouble. I had to look for a house really desperately, and so I found a fake house and I paid for it and I lost 800 euros. The best tip I can give you is to organize yourself, and as you're doing the training course, just go on the internet and try to find a house, because that's going to be best for you. I moved from 5 houses in 7 months, so you can imagine how crazy that was for me. Believe me, that's insane. But still, I'm really lucky because, as I said, Edinburgh is just amazing. It's really nice. It's one of the best bases that you can get. I'm not saying with these that other bases are like shit or something, but like Edinburgh is one of the best because the airport is really near the city. So the cabin crew, they live somewhere between the airport and the city, which is not really far from both places. In Edinburgh, all of the cabin crew, we would finish our shift and then we would just go for a walk around the city centre, or maybe we'd go and grab a pizza, maybe we'd go and grab some dinner anywhere in the city. Being a cabin crew, it all depends on your luck, and I wasn't really lucky because when I got to Edinburgh, all of my friends, they opened a bank account the very first week, but the very first week I was there, as I said, I paid for a fake house and I lost 800 euros, so I was really focused on this thing. So when I already found a room, I decided to open my bank account. But the problem was that the Bank of Scotland, which is the most important bank in Edinburgh, had changed their rules. Then I couldn't get a bank account so easily because they were requesting me for a contract, for an insurance number, also for a room contract that I didn't have because I was just staying in a random room and I didn't get any contract from that room. And on the top of that, you had to add the fact that I was working for Ryanair, and I already started my supernumeraries, which are the practical stuff. I was doing my supernumeraries, my first flights as a flight attendant. I remember just going to work and finishing working and not even knowing where I was gonna sleep, because sometimes I had to sleep in my friend's house because I didn't have a house. So it was really frustrating for me. And also starting a new job is not that easy. You start in a new international company, in a really big company, and when I got to Edinburgh, we were like almost 300 people working in the Edinburgh base, and so I had to meet a lot of people, and each person had their own way to make things, and I had to learn from all of them. I had to take them as an example to make my own way of working, and then it was really messy and really confusing at the beginning for me to get used to the job. I was also really lucky because I got to meet really lovely people, and they are nowadays still really good friends of mine, and I'm actually going to Edinburgh by the end of this month, and I'm gonna go and visit them because we got really in touch. You never know, you can get to know really nice people or you can get to know really bad people, depends on what's your attitude. It was also really hard to deal with all of those passengers because I was in Scotland. I really have funny experiences with these Scottish people. Actually completely hard to understand them at the beginning. I didn't know what they said. I couldn't get anything. I don't know, I remember being really nervous on my first days. Also, as I said, I managed to find a room. I didn't find a room in a normal place. A normal place for a cabin crew is to live near the airport. I didn't find a room near the airport. I found a room in a very dodgy neighborhood. The public transport didn't go there, so I had to manage most of the time to take a taxi, call a taxi or an Uber to go to the airport and back, which also costed me a lot of money. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this, but also as you're doing all these crazy things in your life, because no one is helping you, Ryanair is not helping you, you have to deal with the paperwork as well, because Ryanair is not going to give you an ID, which is like the way you have to enter the airport and not being stopped. So if you have this ID, you can go to the airport and you can go through really quick queues, and you don't have to make these long queues, and you're like a member of the staff. But if you don't have this ID, you need to always be escorted by someone else, because if you have to go to work and you have to catch a flight very early in the morning, and let's say you're late, and there's no one in the crew room that can escort you all the way to the crew room, then you are really in trouble, because you need to find someone who can escort you through the main gate and then get to the crew room. And, well, I had some problems as well with that. Eventually I got it like in a week time, but I had some friends that didn't have an ID for 2 months, and that was really a shit. This is also really interesting, because when I went to Edinburgh I was expecting to learn and practice my English, but finally it happened that I learned Italian, because all of my friends were Italian, because the 90% of the people working for Ryanair are Italian people, and yeah, all of my friends were Italians, and I guess also because Spanish and Italian people, they get on very well as well because of the culture, and we share a lot of things in common. Anyways, overall this was my whole experience of Ryanair. Obviously I had more things going on. I was there for almost 1 year, and anyways, I wouldn't change anything for this amazing year that I had. Still nowadays I keep in touch with all of my friends who didn't yet leave Ryanair, so and that's a cool thing, because I can go to Edinburgh anytime that I want, and they're gonna always welcome me with an enormous and huge open arms. And well, I don't know, I'm just really happy that I got to live this amazing experience. And well, Ryanair is not so good as an airlines company. Obviously there are better companies, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, you can start from the bottom, which is Ryanair, to me. Sorry if someone gets offended, I don't think so. Once you are in the bottom, you can start to climb bit by bit. Other companies love cabin crew from Ryanair, because Ryanair people are really hard workers. The training course is really hard, and we are really prepared for any type of situations. If you do work for Ryanair, then you're gonna get a job in any other airlines for sure. So that's it. I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, just leave a comment below, and well, you can give it a thumbs up. This is my first video in English. I'm really sorry because this is not my native language, but in general terms I think you got what I wanted to say. I really wish you good luck if you're trying to become a flight attendant, because probably if you go for Ryanair interview you will be selected. Ciao!